shoulder.
Yes.
Shipped out of the way. So I have all those knives. Like I have those smoked knives.
Right, you have these. Yep.
Right. So if I wanted like scissors, a bread knife, like a meat knife, like in a block, what could you give me?
Sure. So you want scissors. Hang on, let me just write this down.
I need poultry shears, definitely.
Absolutely. And those are there. They're right in there.
Right. So, and then what are the other?
Sure. So
like half a dozen essential.
Yeah. What I would recommend.
You would have.
What I would recommend is if you are you on your computer? Can you go to your computer?
I am.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And if you click on one of my emails, do you have one of my emails up, or I can just email you right now? If you just click on my website, which is yourbestknives.com, it's take your time.
Your best, all one word, right?
Yeah, yourbestknives.com, all one word.
Okay.
And then go there, right? So if okay, perfect. So if you're there and you click on the banner, sorry, I'm just pulling it up as well. If you click on knife, if you see knife sets, and then below that it says all knife sets. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And just click on all knife sets.
Right.
And then you see where it says, if you scroll down a tiny bit, you see it says sort featured.
Wait, knife sets. It opened to kitchen knife sets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sort featured, yes.
Right. So if you just if you scroll down a little bit, eventually you'll come on the left hand of the 3 columns. On the left hand, you'll come to ultimate set with steak knives with block. Ultimate set with steak knives with block. Tell me when you see that. You got to scroll down a couple of.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so click on that because that's going to bring up what's behind me, but it will also show you everything that's inside it, and you can either get this or you can configure something if you want, as you wish. That's what's great about this. So
yeah, I probably only need like a 5 knife.
Yep, it's very
6 knife set.
Very common. Mm-hmm.
With the block.
Mm-hmm. So what we can do is
should I click on that ultimate knife set with block?
If you click on that and you'll see the whole thing, but we're not going to do the whole thing. We're going to have you pick out what you want.
Right.
But then you can see everything that you can get if you were to get everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. So when you're on this, are you on the ultimate set with steak knives with block page? Is that what you're looking at right now? Okay, perfect. So if you scroll down, you'll see something called this set includes.
Right.
Right? And then you can see, now I know that so let's just kind of go over this and then we can kind of figure it out. So now just so you know, there are a couple of different ways to go. One is if you wanted, you could get the whole set without the steak knives and then you'd have a complete everything. Or you can do exactly what you're suggesting. You pick out 5, 6 pieces and then we give you the block. The block holds your steak knives and then it'll hold the pieces that you choose. So so it's really up to you. Do you want me to kind of guide you through some of the most popular pieces?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I know that you want the shears. So those are a customer favorite and those are phenomenal. I'm just going to go.
Those cut chicken?
Yeah, they're great for chicken and more. They're good for herbs. They're multi-purpose and they come apart for easy cleaning. So you can sanitize them. So if you use them for chicken, you could totally stick them in your dishwasher and sanitize them. Okay. I'm just going to run through what comes in. Well, before I even run through, what do you know in terms of what you do in your household? What do you know that you think might be useful for you?
Well,
Brian.
I want a knife to cut bread, obviously.
Yep.
Which is, I presume, a serrated knife.
Yeah, it's Cutco's version of serrated, but yes, absolutely.
Okay. Then, what do you use to cut beef?
So
is that like a straight knife? Oh, you can't see my screen. Is that like a straight edge knife or a serrated knife?
So when you say cut beef, do you mean like raw, like cubing, that kind of thing?
Yes, cubing or even after it's cooked if I want to cut.
Sure. Do you see where it says the petite carver? Are you still on this set includes?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see the petite carver right there, the petite carver and the carver. So the petite carver is great for, not like fine work, but just like basic stuff. And especially for like carving a chicken or small roast, something like that. For something a little bit bigger, we have the 9-inch carver. And that's good for anything over 5 pounds. So for example, if you were doing a rotisserie chicken, you would use the petite carver to carve that up. If you were cutting a leg of lamb or turkey, right, you would use that 9-inch carver just for size.
Okay. So, and then the butcher knife is what for?
Butcher knife is great for, now some people use it for butchering, but most people don't. So with a butcher knife, you can do everything from disjoint your chicken, if you ever buy your chicken whole, you ever buy your chicken whole, or did you more buy it in
Yes,
pieces?
for example,
Yeah.
well, here's a question.
Yeah.
So I just bought a whole chicken and cut it into 8 pieces to make fried chicken. Am I going to use a butcher knife or am I using the shears?
Sure, great question. So what it depends on kind of taste a little bit, like kind of what your preference is. What most people do is they're going to have 3 tools out when they're going to deal with a whole chicken, and those 3 tools are going to be butcher knife, shears, boning knife.
Wait, butcher knife, shears, and boning knife.
Because the boning knife, right? The boning knife is kind of like a paring knife for raw meat. So it's not a knife you're going to be slicing with.
I think you're leading me to a different question. We can answer a lot of other things if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. Go ahead.
So please explain to me. Let's just go through the knives. What the difference is? Like a paring knife is what?
Sure.
I don't even know what a paring knife is.
So
I see a picture.
I'll talk you through it. So as you can see, now this is we call it the ultimate set because this was designed to give you all of our most popular legacy pieces with the customer favorites, with all the kind of gourmet meat and veggies. So this is a very comprehensive set that I'm going to walk you through. So in this set, you actually get 2 paring knives. So paring knives are good for peeling, like peeling an apple.
Okay.
They're good for pitting. They're good for coring. They're good for cutting tops off strawberries. They're good for a lot of small fruits, sometimes small veggies. Yeah.
Okay, so for lack of a better word, a paring knife is a fruit knife.
Yes.
To keep it simple.
Yeah, perfect. Good.
Okay, a trimmer is?
Trimmer is a small utility knife. So to make it simple, tomatoes, which is a fruit as well. But tomatoes, lemons, limes, that kind of thing.
But you wouldn't use a paring knife for a tomato, a lemon, or a lime?
I would not, because it's going to be A, a little bit small, and B, you're going to want a knife that has the points. Paring knives are straight edges.
Okay. A butcher knife?
Butcher knife. Everything from disjointing a chicken to cutting ribs to not so much cutting through bone, but kind of, that kind of thing.
Between the bones.
Between, yep. But it's also great for things with a hard outer shell, like a melon or a squash, like a watermelon or a butternut squash.
Gotcha.
Yep, great.
Okay.
Carving, we spoke about. Large carver, small carver. Over 5 pounds,
so
under
that's
5
like
pounds.
For roast beef,
Yep.
London broil,
Yep.
anything.
Yep. The slicer and the petite slicer are actually bread knives. So they are bread slicers. So the regular slicer is big bread. Petite slicer is like bagel, small stuff, kind of companies over. You don't want anything so big on your table, that kind of thing.
Okay.
French chef is a knife for vegetables. It's a traditional chef's knife. We have now 3 knives for vegetables that are coming up, and they're all different. Because remember, this is a very comprehensive set. So the French chef is a chopping knife, traditional knife for vegetables. Santoku knife is a Japanese chopper. It's the kind of knife that like Paula Deen, Rachel Ray, Giada kind of made very famous on TV. And that is also great for chopping, but it has a very different feel than the chef's knife. It's a Japanese style knife, still made in New York, but Japanese style.
Feel how?
So the chef's knife, do you see how it has a kind of traditional point?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of designed to rock. Do you want
the
me to?
chef's knife.
Yes, this is kind of designed to rock up and down. The Santoku knife, do you see how the point, rather than kind of going up, kind of slopes down at the tip?
Yes.
So that is designed to have a very different feel. It can rock, but it also can slice and pull through, and it can go straight down because the majority of a great amount of the knife can, hit the surface area in a way that the chef's knife is not going to. So for me, now I have all 3 of these vegetable knives because I do a lot of vegetables, and this is, so I use them, and I have them and I use them. So for me, I'm going to use the chef's knife a lot for just a lot of my chopping and dicing up and down. I use the Santoku knife a lot for things that are cruciferous, broccoli, cauliflower. I use it a lot for onions because it has that drop tip. It's great to get in there. The vegetable knife is a Chinese design. It's basically a vegetable cleaver. It is the best knife. It's the sharpest straight edge knife that Cutco makes. And it is the best knife for larger rounded vegetables like a cabbage, like I like it for summer squash. It's great for making, the big salads. It's great for moving things into a pot or a pan or a bowl because of the way the blade is shaped. And so, all 3 of these are in essence somewhat overlapping, but each of them has a very different, it's a very different experience, in the same way that you would say, the Beatles are the Beatles and the Rolling Stones are the Rolling Stones.
I got you.
Okay?
Okay. A Hardy slicer?
Hardy slicer is like a knife on steroids. It's great for things where when you go to cut them, you go, this looks kind of hard to cut. So a lot of my customers call it the barbecue knife because it's great for, skirt steak and flank and things like that. It's the best knife for me, at least, for like cutting a pineapple. Anything that's kind of hard to cut, hard to slice, you know, that's kind of where you're going to reach for the hardest slicer.
And I'm just curious, why do you say like flank steak and skirt steak are hard to cut?
I'm not saying they're hard to cut, but they are. It's because people use it for barbecuing, and whenever they're kind of out grilling or barbecuing, that's the knife they grab.
Okay.
So it's a multi-purpose knife.
Okay, that's the hardy slicer.
Yep.
Okay, the boring knife.
Hopefully it will be not too boring, but yes, that is a knife for raw meat, meaning it's not so much for slicing like with the hardy slicer. It's more for filleting, butterflying, trimming fat. You're not going to hit it on a board a lot. You're going to use it a lot parallel. It's more of a finesse knife. But unless you are, you know, vegan or vegetarian, it's a very, very useful knife.
Okay, and a salmon knife, I presume, is to cut like very thin?
Yep, you got it. So a lot of my customers call it the thin slicer. So a lot of my customers will use it for really thin slices of roast beef or something like that if they really want to get it paper thin. It was made for fish, so it's great for salmon. It's also really useful for other things. It's one of those knives. It's like the cheese knife that people figured out other things to do with it. A lot of my customers, because it's very flexible, it's actually, you can kind of bend it. A lot of my customers will use it as a knife for kind of grinding a watermelon because they can kind of bend it and kind of really get in there. So you know, it's a cool, unique piece. It's definitely a thin slicer. So that's salmon. Yep.
The spatula, I know. The super shears are cut anything.
Yep. Basically, yes.
Cheese knife. Now, what is the difference between a turning fork and a carving fork?
Okay, great question. So do you want me to actually just show them to you really quickly on the video? Because that might answer it very clearly.
Sure.
I'm going to pull those both out real fast, and you'll be able to see them.
Wait,
You got to click, I know.
Yeah, wait.
Take your time.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This.
By the way, you are the penultimate salesman. If you ever keep this up, you could work for me in the glass business.
Oh, yeah?
Jeez Louise.
Oh, David, Brian, I just messed up. Brian, I'm honored. I'm really honored. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so see this? See how that's 3 prongs and they're kind of really right next to each other? They're small?
Yes.
That's a turning fork. So this is good. You take those 3 prongs and you grab and release things like my head, right? You grab and release meats in pans. You can get a pickle out of a jar, an olive out of a jar, a caper out of a jar. You grab and you release. That's a turning fork.
Okay.
Turning and serving. Look at them next to each other, by the way. See the difference in size and shape?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, for example, this one, the one you're holding now,
yes, Brian,
is if you're cutting something, like a roast on a thing.
Exactly. So if I'm carving a roast, right, I would grab the set. That's the larger carver. And if you take a look, you can see how it has a curve, kind of like a belly right here.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring you close to the bone if you're doing like a lamb or a roast or something like that, right? So then you carve. So this is designed. You see the difference in this fork. It has that curve, and it's designed to anchor the meat, so that you can hold down that meat. It fits in between a joint, and then you can carve along the curve and move your meat very easily with your roast and when you're carving.
So you order chicken.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And would that go in the block?
Yeah, everything goes in the block. So again, this one is kind of good for a small chicken or roast because it's small and it's nice, right? It's like that. Right. This one is good for under 5 pounds.
Over 5 pounds.
Over 5 pounds. And they both fit in the block. So if you take a look at the block behind me again, scissors are here and the 2 forks are right above it.
Yeah, that's a massive block though. I don't have that much counter space. And I keep my other knives in the drawer.
Sure.
Like my steak knives. So
the other thing you could do is if you wanted, we have so many options with Cutco. If you wanted the next step down, we have a set that is not with a block that isn't as big, that has a lot of these pieces, which is called a signature set. And that's a smaller one. It also
okay, so I'm going to go back to the website.
Yeah, if you just click the browser's back button,
Okay.
And you'll be back in the knife sets.
Yeah.
Right? And if you scroll up, you'll see signature set with block.
Right.
Okay, if you click on that one, that also has the shears, obviously. It stores the shears. Yep.
Signature set with block. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't need that lower portion.
You don't need the lower portion?
I don't need the steak knife holders, I guess.
Okay, so you have a couple of options. Most people who get the signature, or obviously the ultimate, they'll put the steak knives in the bottom. So this one has space for 10 on the bottom.
Right.
And the ultimate has space for 12, which is why I was showing that to you first, just so you can know that it exists.
Right.
If you can store your knives however you want. We recommend.
But I mean, do they make a block knives?
The next step down, absolutely. So I'll show you that.
Like, just
Yep.
because I already have I want to preserve counter space.
Sure, no problem. If you scroll way up to the top of the sets where it says sort featured, you will see the homemaker set, homemaker plus 8, and then to the right of that in the middle column, you'll see a perfect set without the slots, which is the homemaker set with block with petite chef. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Click on that, Brian. Click on that.
Okay.
Now check this out. This might be the perfect one for you because it doesn't have the slots on the bottom, right? Are you on that page?
Yes.
And this has the most popular pieces that we make all in one place.
Okay,
which are, if you scroll down, you'll see it. It's much smaller than what we were just looking at, and it has the most essential, popular, useful pieces that people use over the course of a year or even the course of many years.
Okay.
So do you see this right here where it says this set includes?
Yeah.
So what you get with this set is you get the paring knife, you get one. You get the trimmer, which is the tomato knife. Remember that one?
Right.
That's yep, you get the spatula spreader, pies, cakes, quiche, lasagna, sandwiches, and more. You get the turning fork that I showed you for turning and serving meat, right? You get the petite carver, which is that multi-purpose one that's good for anything under 5 pounds and more. You get the butcher knife that we spoke about, great for disjointing a chicken, great for the melons and squash, anything with a hard outer shell. You get the carving fork that we spoke about and the carving knife that goes with it. So you get the carving set in this. You get the bread knife that you need. And you also get a chef's knife for your vegetables. Now, I know you're going to say, but what about the shears? Because you need the shears. So now what's great about this set, and especially with right now what we're doing because of everything that's going on, you can see the pricing. So I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid, okay? Good knives are not cheap. Cheap knives are not good. Cutco's high-end, not low-end, made in New York. So this set, right now, this is discounted to $10.49 as a set package. Now, because of what's going on, Cutco's allowing me to do some specials for my past customers, which I'm really excited about. If you want to do this, first of all, on the website it says you can put down 3 easy payments, but they're letting me do 5 easy payments, just so you know. I don't know if it makes a difference. But what's even better is that I'm allowed to give you a piece of your choice from the bigger set that I showed you with this package, meaning you can get your shears included and you will pay nothing extra at all.
Okay. And so would you say these are the most popular pieces?
Yeah, these are the most popular pieces of all of the pieces that we make. In fact, this is our #1 selling set, Brian, of every set that we do. This has been the #1 selling set in the USA for the last 35 years in a row. They're the most popular, they're the most useful, and it gives you the right tool for the right job for just about everything you're going to do in your kitchen.
Okay. And then, so you give me the scissors.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, and can you substitute out a piece?
What do you think? I'm just switching to something. To my calculator here. What do you think you wouldn't? What do you feel like you wouldn't use, or what do you feel like you're missing?
I feel like I would maybe get another bigger knife instead of the spatula spreader.
Yeah. Okay. Which one would you want?
Let me go back to, I guess, to the ultimate set, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just go back, and we can. That's the nice thing. We'll go back and go forward. So scroll down to get to the ultimate set. It's a little bit of a ways down, and then you'll see it. Yeah. What would you want to switch?
Hold on a minute.
Take your time.
I don't know where the ultimate set. Oh, there it is. I have in there is the French chef knife, right? Is already in there.
Yeah, you get your chef's knife in the set. That's included. The whole idea with the set is that you're not going to use every knife every day, but over the course of a year,
right?
You're going to get.
And I have my slicer and my carvers, and I have the butcher's knife, right?
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
So, which did you say was the sharpest knife of all the knives?
The sharpest knife of every single straight edge knife that I mentioned to you is the vegetable knife. That is one of the ones that's kind of interchangeable. I don't say interchangeable. That's one of the ones that has some commonality with the chef's knife. The reason why we give you the chef's knife in our most popular set is because that's our most popular chopping knife. So we give you, you know, every person wants a chef's knife, every set that you ever get, you know. Yeah.
So would you do the
Santoku, yeah.
Or the Hardy slicer?
What I would recommend,
I would
go ahead.
take either vegetable Sonatuko or the Hardy slicer.
Okay, the Hardy slicer is a little different, so I would kind of keep that one out of it for now. I would say if you wanted to make a switch, you could do the, you know, one of those other two, like the vegetable Santuko or we'll say it differently, as long as it's not Sudoku. Santoku knife and the vegetable knife, those three knives, the chef's, vegetable, and Santoku, are all great, and they all are good for vegetables, and they have kind of different, you know, feels, like I said about the beetles and the stones. So what I would say to you is, my recommendation, do it if you want to make a switch, we can do it for you. My recommendation is that you try it out the way that it comes, because that's the most popular. If you say to me, hey, I want to switch this for one of those other two, I can do that switch for you. Cutco lets me do 30 days basically to play with it. They have officially they have.
I mean, I just don't think I would use the spatula that much. I never frost anything.
Oh, the spatula? Oh, I see what you're saying. I understand now. The spatula is actually one of like the best kept secrets of Cutco, because I don't use it for frosting, because I don't frost anything. I don't do that. But do you ever make a sandwich?
Yeah.
So I use that literally.
But I would use a butter knife for that.
You can do that, but you ever try to cut steak with a plastic knife?
Yeah.
The difference between a butter knife for sandwiches and the spatula spreader for sandwiches is the difference between a plastic knife for steak and a steak knife for steak. It's a night and day. Where have you been all my life? This cuts, because it's flexible. It will scoop, it will spread, it will cut. I do a lot of business gifts for realtors and lenders and doctors and dentists and whatever. The spatula spreader is, come back to me for 1 second. I want to show it to you just so you can see it. If you don't like it, I'll switch it, but just so you know.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Take your time.
Go ahead.
Okay. I should get my my peanut butter thing. So if you take a look, this is the spatula spreader.
Mm-hmm.
It has a spreading side and a cutting side. And this edge is the same edge that's on your steak knife. You can see yourself. Check yourself out.
Right.
There you are. It has a polished mirror finish. It takes that you can pretend you're cooking and just cleaning your teeth. But what's cool about this, and I'm going to show it to you like this, I'm going to bring you down here, is this knife is super flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, if you get a jar of mayo, peanut butter, whatever, you can scoop, and you can scoop it out, and you can spread it, and then you can cut your bread or your bagels and cream cheese.
Wait, you could cut a bagel with that?
Oh yeah, because this has that same edge. Look at it.
Okay, all right, okay.
So this is a very popular knife. You can even see, like when I say we do a lot of business stuff, you can see the engraving. But yeah, I think you'll love it. People do. If you say, hey, I don't like it, I want you to switch it, I'll switch it for you. Just do it in the first month, no problem.
Okay. So then, just a minute.
Take your time.
You want to go?
Yeah.
You're saying we should do the homemaker set with petite chef.
Correct.
With the scissors.
Correct. And they're not in here because that's like a special I'm doing for you. But you'll get them. They'll be included for you. Yeah. Okay.
And then what's the deal with sharpening these things?
Okay, perfect. So with sharpening them, Cutco is forever guaranteed. And forever, that guarantee includes the sharpness. So if anything ever needs sharpening or service, we will sharpen them for free at the factory. But in addition, one reason why I appreciate, Brian, your kind words earlier, I really like to go above and beyond for my customers. So I am trained and authorized to sharpen your knives for you. So periodically, I'm sure you've gotten occasional emails or a text where I say, hey, I'm having a service day or a service event.
Yeah.
Right. So I check in with my my valued customers and clients, and I say, hey, do you need your knife sharpened? And periodically throughout the year, I have special days where I do sharpening and service. And
how do you do that? We send them to you?
So usually, it depends. It depends on the scheduling. Sometimes I can come to the house. sometimes I have a service event where we find somewhere somewhat local, and you just bring them. You just bring them there. So,
Okay.
right. So for example, with you, you're in Jericho. So for you, like this summer, for example, I'm going to have a service event. I believe it's going to be in the summer. We're still figuring it out because of the stuff. But if it's not the summer, it'll be soon after or soon before. I'm going to have a service event in Levittown.
Okay.
So that's usually my hub for kind of near you. So then if your knives were dull, you just make an appointment, bring them in. I'll show you stuff. You take a look at some new things while you can window shop while I sharpen, and you take them home.
Okay, and then are you able to sharpen serrated knives too?
I'm able to sharpen the Cutco ones because they're a special. They're not truly serrated. They're Cutco's version of serrated. They're called a double durable edge. So
okay, whatever.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. Okay. So then let's do the thing with this, and you give me the free scissors.
Yep, those are going to be included, and this also has a couple of secrets. I don't know if you saw, but they also we also get to include for you a cutting board, which I highly recommend you use because it's going to be very gentle on the knives, and that's included, so that helps protect your investment. And that's also guaranteed and wonderful. And then also there's the sharpener, and the sharpener is great for any of the straight edge knives, meaning the ones that don't have the points or don't look serrated.
And no, that's included too.
That's included as well, and of course also, just like I told you, you're going to get the shears as well as a special for you.
Okay, and then to sharpen the knife through this sharpener, how do you do it?
Yep, I'll show you.
Hold on.
Okay, so you take.
You like doing this? You like being a knife salesman?
Of course, I love it. I've been doing it for almost 20 years, Brian. I better like it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Nobody knows.
And I guess you make a decent living?
Yeah. Look at Manhattan. I do great. I love it. I'm sure just like you do, like I really enjoy people. I love helping people with what they need. I love the products. I love my job. It's great. People, like right now, I've been getting so many people have been ordering from me. I work a lot through referrals. So at the end, I'll ask you who that might enjoy hearing about Cutco. But so many people have been ordering from me because they're home. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm cooking more, and they want to support American, this is a New York company.
They are based in New York?
Yeah, Cutco. Every single knife. Every single item with a blade is made in a factory that's been there for over 70 years.
Where is it?
It's Western Upstate, Olean, 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 New York.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah.
So let me see.
Yep. So this is the sharpener, and if you take a look, you can see it's real easy. It has a little kind of V thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to shift this so you can see it real well.
Yep.
So what you do is, hang on a second. Let me set this up for you. Put the sharpener down. There we go. Come here. We're going to get this eventually, Brian. Hang tight.
No, I see it perfect. Go ahead.
Right, you're great. Oh, I know why it was better before. It was better before because I was elevating it. Wait 10 seconds. It'll be better still. I was elevating it like this. When I was doing my last one, I was like, why? There you go. Okay, so it has the feet like this. Take the knife like this. That's a straight edge knife. And you tilt it down just a little bit. It comes with instructions, and it's also on my website. But you tilt it down a little bit, and you just pull towards you. Don't go back and forth. Just take it like that, tilt it down a little bit, pull towards you. And it's going to actually remove steel from the blade. You probably can't see it on my finger, but there's a little bit of steel. And that's it. Do that whenever you notice one of the straight edges getting a little bit dull. I'm happy to sharpen it, but that way you don't have to be dependent on me. And
that's only for the straight edge knives, not the serrated.
Right. So for the serrated, you can either have me sharpen them, or if they need additional work, like for example, if those points were all worn down, then they would have to go to Cutco, to the factory where they were made, and they would literally regrind and put on a new edge for you. In that case, yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And then do you want to do? Oh, a couple of quick questions. Do you want the dark handle, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can get either a honey oak block, which is lighter, or a cherry, which is what you see behind me. It's a little bit darker. What color? Do you want the honey oak or the cherry?
My counter is a black, like dark granite. Blackish.
I'd probably go with the darker.
Okay, yeah, darker.
Yeah, we'll do cherry. Okay, make a note here. Awesome. Yeah, it'll look really nice like that. And then do you want to do MasterCard, Visa, Amex, or Discover?
Amex.
Okay, I am ready for you.
Excuse me, 1 second.
Take
I
your
gotta
time.
get my card.
Take your time.
I didn't even see your biscuit. Hello.
Oh, Biscuit is adorable. Hey, Biscuit. Biscuit's like, yes, I am adorable.
Yeah, I just gave her a bath. Okay, ready?
Yeah. And In a moment, I'm going to ask you a little bit about who might enjoy hearing about Cutco. But before I do, I should let you know that with everything going on, for our past customers, we do have a couple of hidden specials with this set. They are hidden. So if you want me to tell you about
I
them.
got all the specials. I'm getting the free
Cutting board, you're getting the free sharpener, and you're getting the shears as well.
Right.
Yes. But there are some additional specials that are available for other products for people who buy the set. But I'll only tell you about them if you ask. They are hidden.
Go ahead. I don't know if I need them.
Okay. We have a hidden special on our flatware, silverware. Wait,
yeah.
Other side.
Don't need it.
Got it. We have a hidden special on our pots and pans, waterless or low moisture, I should say, made in the USA, forever guaranteed. The most expensive product we make, but probably the customer favorite product of everything that we do, and that is on the best special. You'll never see this price probably ever again because people are cooking so much now. So I have a lot of customers. Anybody who's like thinking about replacing their pots and pans in the next like 2 to 8 years, they're doing it if they need it. That's a big one. So we have the low moisture pots and pans. We have a hidden special on our garden tools.
I got no garden, sadly.
Oh.
I'm in a condo.
Yeah, well, I live in Manhattan, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then we also have. I don't know if you ever give gifts to clients. We have a hidden special on our gifting program. I'm also a business gift consultant. We take the Cutco, engrave it, logo, name, number, directly on the product itself, branding, business card in the kitchen. That's where people are. Frequently.
That might be good. Maybe you should, not for now, but
yeah.
I know during the holiday season, I didn't know you guys do that.
Oh yes, it's phenomenal. Do you give gifts to clients around the holidays?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note of it. I can definitely follow up. Just so I know, so I have a sense of it. Because I'm not trying to have you spend more money on gifts. I just want to take that money that I try to take the money that
as much money as you can.
The money that the clients are spending on other things that aren't giving them as much value or as much bang for their buck.
Right.
But kind of what's usually like the range in terms of how much you usually spend on your clients?
It could be, depending on the client, 70 to 150.
Okay, got it. And how many gifts do you usually give around the holidays, Brian?
Could be 50 or 60.
Okay. And when would you want me to follow up with you about that? Like
beginning of November.
Beginning of November. Okay, perfect. And what's your website? I'm really curious. I want to check it out.
My business?
Yeah.
www.
That's beautiful. You're continuing looks like an extraordinary Madison Square Garden. Looks like you're continuing an extraordinary tradition.
I am very lucky.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure that your clients are too. That's wow. This is you're like, oh, you're a great salesperson. I'm like, now I'm impressed by you, Brian, because this is amazing. Apple Store and some really beautiful work looks like on spaces that are not as necessarily as famous, but perhaps even more beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, awesome.
All right, so when will I get these?
So just so you know, because of the, I say a couple of weeks. We're a little bit delayed with shipping because of, like the amount of orders that we have right now, plus the governor stuff. But I'd say a couple of weeks.
Okay, very good.
Maybe like 3 or 4. Do you want me to tempt you about the pot and pan special, or you think you're?
Not really.
Okay, no problem. I'll probably send you an email about it at some point. And last thing, this is another opportunity for you to get a little extra something. So I work a lot through referrals, through word of mouth. And especially right now, I don't work any events because there ain't no events. So I'm home doing my virtual appointments all day, just like this. And I'm mostly just calling people who I get referred to by my clients.
Okay.
Right now, I am in a contest that my manager's doing. And the average American knows 600 people. I'm not asking for all of those people. But my goal is to get at least 10 people from everybody that I speak with that I can give a quick call to. Not necessarily people who are going to get something, just nice people that I can say, hey, do you want to hear about Cutco? If they have Cutco already, I'll give them a great deal on it and tell them about the sharpening service that we do free. And if not, I'll just let them know about it. So, what was I going to say? And there's something else I was going to say, but that's basically it. Who do you know that likes, I knew what it was. And as long as anybody who gives me 10 referrals while I'm on this call, you actually get a free additional pizza cutter, super peeler, super ice cream scoop, or wine opener. Those are all $40 to $61 gadgets, and they're all guaranteed forever, just like the knives. And you just get to pick it out, and that's an appreciation gift for helping me out and recommending me to other people. So who do you know?
Wait, could I get another set? How much are the scissors?
The scissors are double that. They're 117 bucks. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they're amazing. The scissors are one of the you're gonna love them. I know you're getting them included as a special, but like the scissors, I have 2 pairs.
Right, I was gonna say another pair would be great.
I have 2 pairs. My mom has 2 pairs. You could always buy them.
10 names, huh?
10 names. Get a gadget.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you know that likes?
Okay, I'll give you one right off.
Okay, tell me.
Lauren,
Okay, what's her cell?
now you're gonna tell them I told you to call?
Yeah, because I can't just say you don't know me, but I want to sell you knives. I'm actually going to ask you to shoot her and anybody you give me just a quick text saying, hey, this guy Jeffrey's going to call you. He's really nice. Take his call. Just let him know so that when I call them, they don't call you and go, who's this guy?
Okay. Ready?
Yep. And where does she live? Just so I know, like what town?
Cold Spring Harbor.
Nice. I always think of Billy Joel.
Okay. That's how many? 6 now?
You are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. You got it, Brian.
Okay, 4 more.
Brian, killing it. You're doing great. Who do you know who likes made in the USA products? Who do you know who has kids because they have to cook and they probably are looking for a distraction?
Try Talia.
Who do you know who's a real estate agent who sells houses?
I don't know any.
Okay. Who do you know who's on a board of directors? I do a lot with charity. I give Cutco, donate Cutco. So events, which we are going to have again. So,
oh, how about, okay, here's one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough? I think
You're almost there. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're 2 away. Who do you know who you would give me, but they're somewhere else? They're in California, like your sister. They're in Florida. They're somewhere in the middle. They're in Chicago. They're in. I have a random friend who lives in Iowa.
Okay, try this one.
Yep.
Stephania.
Okay. What a great name. Yep, you're almost there. You're 1 left. And you can pick. You can get any of those. I almost forgot though. You could also get an additional cutting board if you prefer that. You get a lot of options. So.
916.
All right. And where does she live?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay. So just once we're off this phone call, just shoot out a text. Real simple. Jeffrey, he's my knife guy. He's great great guy. Don't say salesman. Just say I bought some knots from him. They'll understand that I sell stuff. And he may be giving you a call. Maybe giving you a call. Please take his call. Thanks. Something like that.
Wait till tomorrow to call.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, so what are my choices now?
Okay, you get.
Where should I look on your website?
Oh, go to. You want me just to show you? I have them right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, they're right here. 10 seconds. Ooh, wow, moving stuff around. That's no problem. Okay. So. Can opener. Can opener. Yep. Or ice cream scoop. Or wine opener.
Okay.
Or it's in the other place. Choices. Yeah, you can pick what you want. They're all forever guaranteed. They're all great. Peeler. Forever guaranteed. Or, what I was going to say, actually, I just realized, and I'll show you in 10 seconds. I'll show you differently because I don't have it right in front of me. But I do have it right in front of me through the magic of, or any of these cutting boards. You have a small one, which you don't have. The medium one is included, so don't pick that one because you're already getting it unless you want 2 of the same. Or the large cutting board. So you can pick out a cutting board as well.
I got so goddamn many cutting boards. I got cutting boards out my ass.
So then don't.
So a corkscrew, ice cream scooper. What were the other 2?
Peeler, or wine opener, or can opener.
I think. What do you think? The peeler, I'm not going to use the wine opener.
Okay.
Maybe one of those 3. What do you think? Probably the peeler or the can opener.
I would do. It's up to you. They're both great. Do you peel more stuff or do you open more like tomatoes and beans and things?
Probably another peeler.
Great. We're gonna do the peeler for you.
Okay. So just put that in my.
Yep, it's actually probably going to come from me because it'll come separately,
Okay.
but it'll come. Promise.
All right, my man. Thank you.
All right, my man. Thank you so much, Brian. It's a real pleasure spending some time with you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to be of service to you, Cutco or non. I really appreciate
Okay.
you, and you have a great day. Remember that the knives. Last thing, the knives that are coming from the factory, they will be factory sharp. So just be a little bit mindful.
And it comes with the block and everything.
Of course, because you're going to want to have storage. Everything that I showed you, including the block, including the sharpener, including the shears, extra, but not extra for you. All of that's going to come.
The shears fit in the block or no?
The shears can do one of two things. Either
I can take out one thing and put the shears
either
in.
you can take out one of the forks and put the shears in, or if you want to spend an extra $4, you can get a shears holster that affixes to the block.
Give me that for $4.
Okay, you got it.
Actually, throw that in. Come on, $4. I need the tip. Come on.
You want me to buy you the holster?
Yes.
Okay, I'll buy you the holster, but I'm asking for one easy thing from you.
What?
By the end of the day today, ideally in 5 minutes, but by the end of the day today, I get a text from you that says everybody has been texted.
Do me a favor.
Write you the text.
No. Well, you could do that too, but send me the names of the people I gave you because I didn't write them down.
I will write you the text and I will send you the names and
Okay.
I will buy you the holster. Just because the last thing I want is to bother anybody, so that if they get the text, then when I call them, it's a comfortable conversation and you're not going to get 5 calls going, who's Jeffrey?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You got it on me. And if there is anybody who says to you, by the way, when you text them, I do not want to get a call. No. Just tell me. I won't call them.
Okay.
And if there's anybody who says, oh my gosh, I really need to buy some stuff, tell me. I'll call them first. All right. So I got a lot of people. Hey, you've been great, Brian. Thank you so much. We'll get that for you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.